This is a test of the Boundary Park alert system. Hello and welcome to the Latics Football Phone-In. What's made you giggle, Dave?
He said to see you go.
You all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, all right. Dave's in quarantine.
I'm just feeling a bit under the weather. Busy week.
Yeah, you was on the early train to London this morning, Dave?
Yes, very, very early. 5:45. So yeah.
With
And
the
I've come back.
with the commuters, with the computers.
Commuters with the computers and all their tutors. Yeah, having the cappuccinos and lattes and macchiatos, shooting from the hip and blue sky thinking and all that crap. Yeah.
Brilliant. Matthew wants to know where the bloody onesie is. Thought there was. Said I wouldn't be wearing it on or posting it on social media. The man that his onesie is a private affair. But
What colour is it?
Grey.
Grey, like your soft hair on your
Yeah,
head.
like my hair and my soul. I have a grey soul. Anyway, Dave, it's a bit weird when we do it like this, isn't it? It's not it's not as good, is it? Should we turn it off? We haven't got any facts about. We didn't do facts about, did we?
About Sutton, I can quickly do some.
No, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay.
It's down south. Yeah, so we've got the Altrincham game to discuss.
Yeah, good result in the end, following the 2-0 deficit at half time. Well, straight after half time they scored. I thought, oh my god, it's going to be typical Oldham minute, 3 great away wins and then a defeat at home, which had just killed the mood because then we've got Sutton and Maidenhead United next week. So it's going to be decent run of games that we can get some good points from.
What is it, Dave, about Sutton? Like, what? Not Sutton. Alty. Like, what's the story? Why can't we why can't we beat them? Gateshead, Altrincham, and Halifax, I think, that we've still yet to beat. What's the crack with all that?
Well, we technically beat Halifax in the FA Cup, didn't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, we beat Altrincham in the cup and all, didn't we? But in the league, and that's what it matters. 6 games now against Alty, innit? We haven't beat them.
Is it the scouting network? Is it the scouts who go and watch our games? They know our game plan inside out, don't they? And I think, obviously, with the injuries, as Mickey Mellon alluded to in his interview, some players didn't start because they'd had knocks. It's Saturday, Tuesday. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's a local derby, massive game. It's a cup final for them, isn't it?
I think there's a bit of. I think over time as well, if you've not, if you're unbeaten against the side, it gives you confidence, doesn't it? I think, and I think you see the reaction of their players when they score. They love it, don't they? I mean, we've been to Altrincham's ground. It's proper crap, isn't it? It's really, really like FA Cup qualifier. It's small. I'm no disrespect to them, but in terms of a facility. And Boundary Park is far superior, and I think their players just love coming here, don't they? And a couple of seasons ago, they came from 2-0 down, didn't they? With 10 men,
yeah.
So they've got that feeling. So I think in fairness to the lads, I think coming back from 2-0 was decent, but to concede that goal in the first minute after kickoff, it was like Aldershot, wasn't it? It was like we didn't look uncomfortable at all. But we weren't making great chances, and we conceded soft goals, and it was really disappointing. Daniel is on a ferry on his way to Amsterdam, and he's tuning in.
Oh, what a guy going to Amsterdam!
Yeah, for a smoke and a pancake.
James Tarkowski's goal was good last night, wasn't it?
On a strike, yeah. Pep, what a class player, control midfield. He did. Dave, we haven't got many callers. We've got Ibby lined up as usual, so we do need callers. That's the whole point of this show. Otherwise, we might as well just call it the Matt and Dave show and just sit here and talk absolute nonsense. But we don't want to do that because we're not that entertaining or interesting or knowledgeable. Whereas you are the entire fan base of what? Well, let's track that back a bit. You're not the entire fan base of All Mad Athletic, but there's more of you out there. Let's have your views. Let's have your opinions. There's been a lot happening. I think after York, Dave, people couldn't wait to get on, could they?
Well, the gluttons for punishment, aren't they? They just love us failing. And
did you see that tweet? Did you see that tweet from Bradley that he reposted a Fesshole tweet, and he said that he was a season ticket holder at a club, and he secretly loved it when the club failed and was doing really badly because everyone was mourning. He could stick the boot in, and that's what he enjoyed most about it. And Bradley tweeted that he had to be a Latics fan. And yeah, I think there's potentially a good shout for that.
But looking at the league table,
Barry Owen's trying to get on again. Barry, you're not coming on, so go away. That's what he was trying to do. And don't anyone say, look, he's not coming on. He's desperate for attention, and he's not getting it. So go away, Barry, you wally. What recruit? Here we go. This is the kind of. Oh no, that's from that dickhead. I don't want that on there. But yeah, recruitment. So there's been a lot of people talking about recruitment not being good, but really, think about the players that have really helped turn it around. They've been the players that have been recruited in the last few days, isn't it? Well, over January, they've done really, really well.
Yeah, I think Rossiter is a class signing. It took him a little while to bed in, but him and Pet, when they're together, it just reminds me of a bit like Sheridan and Duxbury. Not to, I'll get criticised by Paddy Howard for saying that, but I think, one's a classy ball-playing sort of player, one's just scrapping all the time and wanting the ball every 5 minutes, and then he's looking to play it, and the defenders are getting a lot more confidence to passing it to Rossiter. They can pass it to Pet. They're playing it out a little bit more from the back rather than lumping it, which has been really, really, really refreshing to see.
That's the combination you need, isn't it, in midfield? You've got to have that. You've got to have that combination of a ball winner and a ball user.
Yeah, and also I haven't seen much of Worthington, but when he came on against Rochdale, I thought he did well. I didn't see at Solihull. It was a bit of a drab game. Vimal Yanganathan, again, he was in that number 10 role. He didn't have as much impetus as Lundstrom when he came on the other night.
He didn't have enough physicality, I didn't think. And when Lundstrom came on, he was a proper pest. Because he was playing down our end, he was barging into people, and he was really just, being aggressive. Really, he looked well up for it. And
I bet he loved scoring, didn't he, against his old club?
Yeah, and he couldn't have had an easier chance, could he? It was, it was such a jammy goal. But I think we deserved it, really. We should. I mean, want to talk about that as a referee, Dave?
Yeah.
The incident where James Norwood turned his back, ran away from the keeper, who kicked it against his back. The ball fell to Fondop, but the referee blew. It wasn't ungentlemanly play or whatever. He turned his back. He was running away. Why did he blow that up?
It depends on proximity and probably the attitude of the player. So if Norwood's been in his ear all game and he got in his way, if the keeper made a mistake and kicked it against him, it's whether he moved towards the ball, knowing where the keeper was. But
the keeper Norwood turned and ran away, and the keeper had an option to kick it at Norwood or kick it up somewhere else, and he kicked it at Norwood. So I thought that was a poor decision because we were in on goal for a winner there. But
I think that the referee was very criticised because of his any form of contact. Mellon said that in his interview was stopping the game, start. And do you know, you've got to be fair to the referee in some respects, because when you play in a derby, and I've not done the levels that these guys have done, but when you've got two teams who are local, it's going to be quite a feisty affair. Obviously, they'll look at the red cards in the previous game when they was there, so they look at all the previous results that they've had, and they're both fine for a playoff spot. He probably just wanted to try and nullify any sort of aggression or nullify the crowd as such, because if it starts roaring, it's gonna be problems for him and his assistants. It's not an easy job, and anyone can say the referee was poor. Some have been poor. I think he just tried to nullify the game and tried to manage it and dampen it, and I think he did well at doing that. And sometimes they start nitpicking to ensure that they have maybe an easier game. But when they get assessed, they get heavily criticised for game management. If they go too far, so it's a really fine balance.
Anyway, we've got some callers now. We've got Dane. So should we speak to Dane?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Dane.
Hello, gents. How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Mate.
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
Thanks for calling.
No problem. Second time in for me this time.
Welcome back.
Cheers. Yeah, just did you go to many of the last few away games?
Yeah, I went to the last 3. I didn't go to Gateshead, but went to the last 3, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I was away when the Dale game was on, so my mate got my season ticket. Yeah. Didn't have the nerve to ask him for it when I got back. I don't think he'd have handed it over anyway. It was pretty fair by that point. And then I was at the Solihull and the Fylde games as well. Yeah, much better away from home. Frustratingly still at the moment. Do we think?
What do you think? What do you think it is about Boundary Park that is? I mean, because it's not like we played badly for like the entire game. Like second half, in fact, I don't even think we necessarily played badly against Altrincham, but we seem to concede goals easier at home, don't we, than we do away?
Seems to be, yeah. I thought even the Aldershot game as well was sort of like that. Even though we got turned over, I think the score probably flattered them a little bit. I know we're going back a fair bit, but and obviously at York we just didn't turn up at all. But I don't know, maybe is the pressure of odds. I don't think there is as much moaning as there used to be, but I do sit in the Dale end, maybe around the main stand more. There might be a few more moans and groans, but for whatever reason, it's not coming on at home, and it's just very frustrating to see.
Yeah, and what did you make of the atmosphere? Somebody said about the atmosphere not being great.
It's because we're kind of neither here nor there. We're firmly sort of in the playoffs, but in that arduous time of year where you've just got to keep grinding them out. And I think because everybody else is doing similar. Obviously, if we get it to nearer to the top, then it's certainly going to go up. But we've just got to stick through it and just do what we can, I suppose, while we're working our way towards the top.
Naturally, in a game when the team is at home, the pressure is on the team to win at home. So maybe they haven't played that many as the squad at home, other than York and other than Aldershot, where Corey Evans was in midfield, got injured. Ross it was his first game. They changed the team as well, so you never change a winning team. And obviously the expectation of that, and the groans in the crowd, they could probably hear it. They feel the atmosphere, and the crowd weren't as excited as they probably were against Solihull, Fylde, and Rochdale. Now, that is a selection issue because of injuries, but I think Dennis going in goal, the change of a goalkeeper can really nullify a crowd. That can, and he's a young lad at Cardiff. He's played 2 or 3 games. If that lad, he makes a mistake early on, it can kill the atmosphere, and it does, and the players feel it.
I think with being a popular goalkeeper, that probably amplifies it a little bit as well.
It's the first game. It's the first game that Monte is out as well, sort of coming in. It all these factors come into it, and then they go out. But I think the result of getting it to 2-2, against Aldershot, after Aldershot, we fell to pieces, didn't we? And he still couldn't get over that. But we actually showed a reaction, and as Matt said, we could have won the game if the referee had been in our favour. So I think there's a lot of positives to take out of it, and a lot of credit goes to them.
I'm still content with our form overall. Compared to where we've been year after year, to be this point, kind of bang in the middle of the playoffs with the option to. I don't know if we will do it. Obviously, I hope so. But at this stage in the season, to be 4th, I think that's a vast improvement on many years gone by. So look at the positives for it. A lot of players coming in, and lots of options. I'm very happy with Leek for Monte. He seems to have slotted in very well. So yeah, overall, it's good. It's not. There's no booze. There's no piss taking singing in the Dale end, which is good to see. I think just this point in the season, kind of 2/3 of the way through, just got to keep grinding them, and yeah, just not to be negative is the main thing.
I think
five unbeaten though, aren't we? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can't grumble that much.
yeah. No, exactly.
Yep.
It's a good. We're on a good run now, but I think it was interesting because obviously we went 2 goals down, and then it's like, oh god, here we go. He made 5 substitutions, and you know it was really positive from Mellon. You know, you can argue that he should have started his better, stronger side. We've had a lot of games, and he's got to try and manage people's legs. He's got to try and manage people's knocks and little, So you could suggest that he maybe made but he made the choices that he thought was going to work. And I think that we gave away 2 soft goals.
Yeah.
And apart from that, we were totally in the game. So I don't think he got it horrendously wrong. I think that we just made, soft
keeper was at fault for the
again.
First one, and then we got caught cold as we did against Aldershot. It was the second,
and against Gateshead from one end of the pitch to the other, just straight through us. So these are the things that, and then in second half, obviously there was plenty of time to get back into the game because they scored early. He made the 3 substitutions, then he made the 2 more, and then what gave everybody a massive lift was obviously the goal, but it was the quality of the goal. And James Norwood coming out, his first touch, absolutely superb. It was a brilliant goal, and the move was really good. And even the ball he got back from Fondop was the right ball, but it wasn't the best ball. It didn't go in front of him just enough. He had to, and it was superb. And obviously, then straight away, everyone was like bang up for it. And it's just one of those weird things where people are more, where they've got something to chase and they feel, we were chasing the game and the team responded. Then there was an atmosphere. Then we were all up for it. So it's like that with atmospheres at football grounds, I think.
I think them giving us that stick once they scored the first one definitely got the crowd going, because I don't know, we don't seem to do it to them, but people always taunt the Dale end. Even if we've not we always get it. And I don't know whether that's just because it's the biggest crowd they'll play in front of the year, or it's just, but it seems to happen very, very frequently.
You've got to remember as well that Ogle was out, the keeper was out, as I earlier mentioned, and you've got Sutton who's just come in, and you've got Raglan and Leake. Raglan and Leake have only played 3 games together, 2 games in that position with Leake at the back, which was Rochdale and Solihull.
Yeah.
So
and he's done
again,
well.
And Caprice was getting kicked off the park as well.
He was brilliant. He was fantastic. He was great at
31 years of age. He looks like he's a 24-year-old because he's just well up for it, isn't he? He's really. I think the only game I've seen him the only game I've seen him play a poor game was against Solihull, and I think they took him at home and they took him off early because he just had a bad day. But he's really coming to his own. I think and the confidence is moving high. I'm gutted about Ogle because again, he's going to be a bit of a miss. But Sutton, we've got Hobson, so we've got the depth there.
How long's Ogle out for? Do we know?
He said 2 weeks, couple of weeks, didn't he?
Right. Well, hopefully that's not too bad.
Yeah, he's on the bench now.
Would you rather play him than Sutton?
No, I think Sutton's distribution of the ball and bombing forward is a lot better. However, Hobson's tackling is and heading. He's a better defensive player.
Better defender, isn't it? Yeah.
That's why I'd play him, because he seems to play more like 3 with the 2 wing backs.
Yeah,
that's probably marginal differences. Mainly like a big.
And I think Sutton's definitely one for the future. We're talking about Tarkowski last night. Sutton, I don't think he's as the quality of Tarkowski, but I think he could be in time, and he's definitely an asset that we need to keep hold of.
You see different quotes about Sutton. Some people slating him, and then other people think he's good. And I think it's really hard for him to come into a team like this. You can't. You need consistency. You want to be playing with players every week, and Sutton's one of these players who just gets dropped in and then pulled out and dropped in and pulled out. So it's hard to get to hit those standards. Your best, but when he does come in, sometimes he plays really well. Other games, he's got mistakes in him. That's the nature of the beast, isn't it? So, but look, I think I was talking about Norwood before. he could be the difference.
Yeah.
And he should be the difference at this level. He
put it this way,
showed the class he's got.
He came on straight away with his first touch in some of these ways. Well, Billy Waters in that Altrincham game, clean through, 1-on-1, spooned it. Kay in the last minute against Rochdale. Fondop fell over his own feet against Solihull. A few others. So, yeah, if he can stay fit, he's the one that we need to be putting through clean 1-on-1s like that, and he'll hopefully just keep slotting them in.
But it's the quality of the balls, though, isn't it? Bringing Pett in and Pritchard, and we've got and they've got that pass in them, and that's what we need. We've got to.
No, it's not been fit while they've come in yet because he's been out. So hopefully,
exactly.
Yeah, if we keep sticking where we are, keep going on runs. Obviously, not over what we did over January, but win a couple, draw a couple, as long as we're not losing, and then we're as long as we're in a few games of reaching, who knows what can happen by.
I'd rather win 3, lose 1 than draw 2 and win 2. You know what I mean? Because I'd rather win obviously, but lose rather than we don't want too many draws like at the start of the season.
I suppose so. Yeah.
I mean, it's better to draw a game than lose a game, as long as you're not drawing too many in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I mean, the thing is, if we can win these next 2 home games, and I think we've got to really, we've got to be winning them.
Maidenhead and Sutton.
Sutton and Maidenhead, it won't be easy. It never is. But then you've got that run of 3 wins, so it'd be 5 wins and 2 draws. In the last 7 games,
15 and now,
which is, that's a good run, and that's then we've got Dagenham away, who aren't doing particularly well. So, and then have we got Barnet? Then is it? I think we've
it's easy games after that.
It's all very exciting. This is the thing. You're saying about if we were a bit nearer to the top of the table, we're 4th, we're in contention still for the title. It's getting harder as each game goes by, and every point that you don't pick up. But I don't know how. I mean, compared to what was the last season that we were in this playoff stages at this stage of the season? It's donkeys. So we've got to be able to get a bit up for it, But I think that the team, though, in fairness, need to try and start the games with the sort of intensity that they showed in the second half against Altrincham. I think that would help. Don't think that the intensity was there to punish. It might have been because of the starting lineup. I'm not sure, but that I would like to see us really dominate teams. And
we should have been ahead before they scored their first goal. Scored.
That's true. Yeah.
16 games left, chaps. And we're 9 points off the top, and we've got a game in hand with Barnet.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness me, it's it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is exciting.
Yeah, Barnet, Forest Green.
Optimistic.
The team I'm worried about, who I'm really worried about, is sneaking into the playoffs at the last. Is that it? Just 2, just Hartlepool and Southend, because Hartlepool are on this. They're on this sort of run where they keep on getting these really good results against really hard teams.
More league structured teams as well. We don't want to run into them in the playoffs.
Definitely not.
I don't think we're going to be worried. I don't think we have to worry about dropping out of the playoffs. I don't think that.
Touch wood.
We're 9 points clear. Nine. Well, Rochdale are in 8th, and we're 12 points clear of Rochdale.
Yeah, I can't.
All right, they've got 4 games in hand, but I think we're too good for that. I think, and then at the minute we can still keep looking upwards and hope that we're going to catch them. Well, I mean, just one last question before we move on to the next caller, Dane. Based on our performances home and away, would you be more confident about us finishing 2nd and 3rd and getting the home draws?
I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? At the end of the day, you've got to win. You've still got to win at Wembley. So we're playing away in a sense either way. I'd want to play, obviously, 1 home game to be going to Wembley for sure. So if you gave me the choice between 3rd or 4th, I'm definitely taking 3rd. Simple as that, really. Because I can't see us dropping down to 6th. So we're going to have to play at home, 1 game in the playoffs either way. So it might as well be the semi.
Well,
I want to see Boundary Park full as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be mint.
Yeah, I think it'd be maybe a bit more full if we were going to Wembley rather than going to the semi, as it were. But hopefully, be cracking 5 figures either way.
Yeah.
I always get the kid of Insta when we had the. I know it's a different team and everything, but it's like
I was on my mate's stag do for that. I was listening to it on the radio, creasing.
Yeah, the big we haven't performed particularly well in recent seasons when the big crowds have been on the big occasions, but they're going to have to sort that out if we're going to do anything, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Right, we're going to chat to Ian now. So thanks for calling, Dane. Thanks for kicking us off, mate. Appreciate it. Take care.
Cheers,
See you later.
Take care.
Jenny's got a question for you, Dave. Have you been drinking? Because you've been very positive. She does correct herself. Sexy Dave, she meant, obviously.
I'll answer the question now. No, I've not. I've had a mug of tea.
Living legend. What are you doing with my mug?
Oh, can I, before we bring the next call in, can I wish a very happy birthday to Mike Fondop's dad? It's his birthday today.
Oh, fantastic. Happy birthday, Mike Fondop's dad. Come over again soon, please, because Mike was absolutely on fire when you were here. For the playoffs, 100%. Right, let's chat with Ian, shall we? All right, Ian.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, all right, mate. You lot good?
Yeah, absolutely sound, thanks.
Yeah, all good, yeah.
You've been pretty active in the comments, I've noticed, on YouTube. Nice to see you. Nice of you call in.
Yeah. I've been supporting Oldham probably since 1970.
That's a long time.
A lot of pain. Then I bet.
Yeah, there's a lot of good and a lot of bad since then.
Yeah. How do you think we're faring on at the moment, Ian? Are you happy with the results and the performances?
Right. I think one of the worst ones to watch was the Halifax game away.
We don't do great there. We don't tend to play very well there.
No, that was real bad, and they've improved since Christmas.
Yeah, they have definitely. Who's been which game has really impressed you in terms of the team's performance?
I think since Christmas, it's probably should we say maybe the last 2 games they've showed a bit of resolve.
Right, but which game has been your favourite game? Which has been the best result? Did you go to Rochdale away? Did you watch that one?
But Rochdale away for the locals and the grabbing, the bragging rights. But I still think we're slacking since the run we had before Christmas.
Yeah, we definitely lost momentum here, and it wasn't great in November. We had Dane was waiting to come on before. Dane was famously crestfallen after when we were in 5th place, and I hope he comes back on. I mean, he was quite depressing to listen to back then. So hopefully he'll be a little bit more enthusiastic now. Are you excited about how this season's going to finish, Ian? Do you think we've got enough in us to get promoted one way or the other?
I still think we're only going to make playoffs. I don't think we're good enough to go on a run and win it.
No. I think I'm quite hopeful that we will.
The reason I'm saying that is because I don't think they're going to gel quick enough.
It's been good, optimistic about that midfield though, but I do think that we got a lot of injuries now, and consistency is what you want, but we can't be the only team that's struggling for injuries and stuff at this stage in the season. And there's still, like Dave said, 16 games to go, so other teams might pick up knocks and suspensions and things like that. So it's a long season for everybody, isn't it?
I still think what my mindset is that there's still the complete team, because they've had 7 new signings since Christmas, and I think it's I won't panic buying, but I think it's probably the board trying to say, "Here, Melon, have a go with it and see what you can make of that." And they've thrown him in at the deep end since Christmas. Mellon's a fantastic manager, and he's done the best that we've had for a long time. We've had 30 years of nothing, and now that he's given it a real go, I've been thrown in the deep end since Christmas, and I still think that we're not going to win the league, and hopefully we will stay and make the playoffs.
Was it Ryan, Dave, who came on a couple of weeks ago? I don't know if he said it on the phone or he said it in Ryan Hamer, I think it was, about us being once we get to that stage, we should be quite a good team for the players because those games tend to be quite cagey, quite tight, and you know and we could edge out a win, you know, in those situations.
Yeah, to be fair, the only game that we didn't edge out was York at home, but we'd lost all that momentum and we'd had those injuries. We'd lost Clucas, we'd lost the Stones debacle. But Forest Green at home, Rochdale away, you know, Barnet away, 0-0. He knows how to get a result, doesn't he? He's very experienced. And like last night, Tuesday night, 2-0 down against Altrincham, he got us a result because he changed it. And I think he's got to be more adventurous now. It's a bit more... He's twisting more than sticking. At the start of the season, I think he was still trying to find out his squad, the capabilities, the new players. You know, that's why we had so many draws, and they were still relatively new playing with each other. So I think he's twisting a lot more, and he's being a little bit more attack-minded. You know, so they're playing football rather than lumping it now, which is a real positive to see.
Yeah, definitely.
You see, I can go back to that Halifax game, that first half. I know it's a bit, you boys don't want to really go over things again like that, but I reckon that Halifax game, he's learned a lot by that because within a minute of the second half, the ball went out of play. Mellon picked the ball up, one of his players, and was waving to go on, go on. And he went up, and that was the most attacking he'd done compared to the whole of the first.
I think I think that we can do it. We can put teams under pressure, and we showed that against Altrincham the other night. You know, we get forward. We did that against Rochdale. We actually played the best football in the final third of the pitch. That's where we play our best stuff. So I think that's you know what we're going to have to try and do more of, and I think we're going to have to try and do it a bit earlier in games and try and take the lead, especially at home. Get into the lead, try and kill games off. If we can get 2 goals up at home, chances are that game will be over, and then you can start doing a bit of game management. Then you can start resting players. I think it's a bit of a luxury at this stage to be trying to rest players first. I think we've got to try and get the game won and then bring players off. I understand Mickey Mellon's. I understand him wanting to do it, but I think fans would be happier if games were won before our best players were given a rest.
But if they're injured, he's got a forward plan because, as you say, Pet with a quadriceps injury could be out for 4 to 6 weeks, and then we are knackered, aren't we? It's really tough. It's a fine line. I wouldn't like to have the.
I reckon even the Fylde game with winning at Fylde, that should have done confidence for them because, you know, they were beating home and away with teams like that. And I think, Oldham, come on, we need to be getting out of this division, and we shouldn't be in the drops playing. No disrespect to Fylde and the rest of them. We need to be up and out there.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. And I think that's why you know the board have been giving Mickey Mellon as many resources as they can in terms of staff, backroom staff, money to spend, players since January as well, because the club are desperate to get us out of this division. We need the money. We need the money that the EFL offers. We need to be able to rebuild the youth structure. It's really, really important. people say if we're doomed if we don't go up this season. Well, we're not, because we'll just go again next season. But
No.
the sooner we do it, the better. But I mean, I also think that disappointment fuels success. Ultimately, I think you can see it. Teams that fail to go up one season, have got even more desire to do it next season. So
we should have tankfuls of it then, shouldn't we?
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I understand, like, meltdowns like what Dave had a few weeks back. I mean, that we all go through that. I've been going through that for years and years.
Yeah.
But
It's hard, isn't it? It's an emotive, and when you've never seen any success, my first season I'll go into Latics was 93, 94, where it was the beginning of the end, really. That was my first season, so I've never seen any success other than Fulham, Everton, Liverpool in the FA Cup, and they've been so sporadic. Going crazy that Peter Clark scored in a 1-1 against Doncaster, only for a penalty to be given for a stupid handball in the last minute. These are the scars that we have, and it's.
See, I've had like years and years of this, like back in the Jimmy Frizzle days.
I can imagine. But you saw some success. Some success. I've never seen it, so it's about time that I did.
Yeah. Right. Listen, we're going to move. We've got a caller from Australia.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for calling, mate.
Care.
Nice to talk to you, Ian. Take care, mate. Bye now. Yeah, we've got a call from Australia. So before we lose connection, because I don't know, for whatever reason, let's bring him in. Hey, up, Beardy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, mate. Very well. It's a bit early, but
how's life down under?
Warm. It's it's lovely. I love it. It's a lot better than dreary Oldham, especially when it's winter. But it's 16 degrees, so it's quite cold today.
Right. Well, listen. For those who don't know, you were driving Roy and the media team around the country last season, weren't you? And it was such an ordeal that you've decided to move to Australia. So I'm not sure if that's the only reason, but I mean, you put the miles in last season, didn't you, for Latics?
And the season before as well.
The season before as well, yeah. Yeah,
it was fun. Roy's an interesting character. He's harmless. He's absolutely harmless, but his job does get him in trouble sometimes, and I think he'll admit to that. But yeah, it was great travelling up and down the country, going seeing some of these grounds that I would never have seen. I lost the passion, and I think funnily enough, when we got relegated, I wanted to go again. I wanted to go and see these non-league grounds and go and see what was happening and like go and visit the far-off places I've not been before. Best thing I did. Loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Brilliant. Yeah, and I mean, just you did it, and then now you've changed your life completely, and you're watching from afar.
The wife's changed my life completely. I'm just along for the ride. So, but I'm enjoying the ride. It's good because she's loving life. She's doing really well. She's loved by her employers. So
brilliant.
I mean, it's just a fantastic place to live. The worst part about it is these early morning games.
How early are we talking?
So Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff is 1:30 on a Sunday morning for me.
Right.
And a 7:45 kickoff is 6:15 on a Wednesday morning. So yeah, it's currently 8:22 in the morning.
So, what are you doing over there, John? Are you doing anything work wise?
Well, I'm going working for the local housing authority.
Well, brilliant.
So they've got a housing trust, so they somehow saw something in me and went, yeah, go on then.
Brilliant.
So I start there in a couple of weeks, but in all honesty, I've 6 months of just dossing about. It's been great. But just taking dog to the beach or going on little road trips, because we literally live 5 minutes from the beach.
Cut him off,
Yes,
Matt.
yes.
I've had enough. I'm going to have a better.
Yeah,
I
but he
didn't
doesn't.
want to talk about Latics, don't worry. I didn't want to
He
talk
doesn't.
about
He doesn't get to go to Boundary Park every other week, though, does he? And
No.
Solihull and things like that anymore. So
No.
you know, there's pros and cons.
It's that. Do you know what? That's one thing that I miss more than anything. I know it sounds really sad, but I actually miss, like, the Solihull game. Watching all the fans behind the goal. I was there last season behind the goal. The Rochdale game with all the fans in the stand. I was in that stand last season. So all I keep doing is thinking, oh, last season was such a good day. And it's just, now I'm looking back and I'm thinking, I really do miss it. And we even talked about coming back before the end of the season and going get a couple of games in. No other reason.
I think it's going to be one of those things where, you know, as and when we have the massive games, playoff finals, winning the league, things like that. If as and when they happen, that's when it'll feel, home will feel like a long way away, won't it? Then.
Well, we've discussed this at length, because the wife's not a Latics fan as well, so it's like we're quite together on this. So we said, if we get to the playoff final, we're coming back. It might cost us best part of what, 10 grand, but we would literally fly back to do it. So it's $10,000. Don't worry, it's not pounds. It's £5,000.
Yeah.
But I know it's still an amount of money. But I think the lore of the atmosphere and you can see the Rochdale. I mean, I've watched all the YouTube videos about Rochdale. I've watched all the highlights, and it just, my container's coming on Monday, and it's got all my Latics stuff in there. So I've got a room specifically for Latics. So all my strips are being on the wall, and yeah, even the wife said, "Yeah, you can do that."
It's a big difference, John, than it was years ago. Now you can stay connected.
Yeah.
You can watch games. It's a lot more involved. When I first moved to Ireland, it was just text alerts really, or checking online and stuff like that. It's moved on a lot. So you've obviously been out. I mean, you've been getting up early or staying up late to watch the games. What have you made of it since you've? When did you move? How long ago was it?
September.
Right, so basically the whole season then.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what have you?
I watched most games. There's a couple I've missed, but I don't think it was. I think they were like 1-0 losses or 1-0 wins or something like that. But it's been hard because we started off with such a weird scenario, trying to get used to each other, and then we had that run where we looked phenomenal. And when we brought Stones, Clucas in, we looked really good. And then everyone dramatised like Stones going and Clucas going. And I think Rochdale was a really good moment for us because they didn't have any. They had nothing against us. I mean, our defence was outstanding. Regan Ogle, Aussie, obviously, has been fantastic. And I think he's been my player of the season so far, from what I've seen. I think we still rely a little bit too much on that hoofball, because if you watch it when Ogle's on the pitch, he wants to take that ball out. He wants to run with it with caprice.
Yeah.
Whereas, Raglan, as good as he's been, he just wants to smack it upfield. And Monty's, as much as he wants to do a crossfield pass, he'll still hoof it a lot more. So I think getting Ogle back will be a big win. Obviously having Norwood in there, fantastic, especially with the goal the other night. The other morning, and I think the midfield looks fantastic with Pep, Rossiter. Just need to sort out kind of going forward in that attack. I think Lundstrom is a great player. Kay, I just don't know why we got him, because it just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. That young lad we got on loan, what's he called? The from Barnes, is it Barnsley?
Yeah,
younger Nathan.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess that up there. Thanks for that. He looks like he could do all right, but he just needs a bit of game time.
Yeah, he did well at Foul when he came on. He was, because he's quite a tall lad. He's very tall, and he came on and caused all sorts of problems in that box for when Fondop got that scrappy winner. He was just in and around, and he was causing he draws the bigger defenders towards him because of his size. I haven't seen much of him. But Well, if you've got balls like from Pet coming in that are just so, direct and pinpoint, you've got every chance, haven't you?
Of course you have, yeah. I think Pet has been the difference.
Pritchard has been out. I like Pritchard. Rochdale, he put 2 balls through and it should have been 3-0. You know what I mean? I really like him.
Yeah, and he's not had Norwood to feed the balls to, has he? Because I think that'll make a big difference. I like Waters, but he's not as clinical as Norwood, is he?
He's like Garner, though, isn't he? Waters. He's like Garner. He's a bit of a rat. He likes to get about, but obviously not as.
He works hard. He's a fit lad. He doesn't stop running, does he? But he can run himself ragged. Filed. He was pressing them. Solihull, he pressed them. Rochdale, he pressed them, but he can only do that for so many games. Is he 30? He's 30, isn't he? So he's not.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of legs in him.
I'm not saying.
No,
but you can't do that Saturday, Tuesday. Keep doing that. It's going to tire you. Anyone.
I think the thing is, I think that Waters and Norwood are going to share minutes on the pitch. I think that with the intensity that Waters plays at, and I think obviously with Norwood coming back from injury, I think that's going to be the combo. They'll, whether one of them starts the game, whichever way around it is, they're going to be sharing the 90 minutes, I would imagine.
Yeah,
it's Fondop again that I keep worrying about, because he's got no relief. There's nobody that can come on and do Fondop's job, and he's played every single game, and he is the one player that gets. I mean, he gives it out, but he also takes it as well physically. So that's my worry, is that he's not got anyone to. But I think Waters and Norwood are brilliant foil for another big striker. Who he's obviously Fondop, but I don't know. 16 games left. Can Fondop give what he gives every single game from now until the end of the season, excluding any playoff games?
The problem with Fondop. I think the problem with Fondop is. He's currently loved, and I think his whole game is based on that love. People, giving him that energy to be able to go and play the way he does. The problem is one little slip up, and people turn on him, and that's how fickle we are as fans. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the younger lot who look at. Like we used to players like Rick Holden, Andy Ritchie, Roger Palmer, who were with us for years, who gave us that love because they wanted to play for the club. Fondop's in that mould. He wants to be there. He wants to play for us. Where any other player could leave tomorrow and we won't be bothered about him. I mean, it's funny we talk about Tarky. Scored the equaliser. Everyone on Twitter and Facebook going, he's one of our own. He's he's one of the He left us. Same as Josh Stones. Same as everybody else. They've all gone. They're not with us forever. I'm not bothered about Tarky, but with Fondop, I'm bothered because I really think he does love the club.
He does. He does, and I like that. I think that's really important for everybody else as well in the changing room and the people around the place. You want players who want to be here. That's what you want. And we've been starved of heroes at Latics for a long time. People who we believe in and you do give, like you said, people get a bit frustrated with Fondop sometimes, but I think, players that you really like and you respect, you give a bit more slack to, don't you, as well, when they do make mistakes and stuff like that. And Fondop's one of those players that, he scored, how many goals? 4 goals in the last 5 games or something like that. And he goes through these spells where he just bags these important goals. And, without those goals, we'd have been knackered. So, I think you mentioned Ogle before. I think he's had a really, really good season. I think Caprice has had a good season. Lundstrom's had a good season. Fondop's had a good season. There are a lot more players this season that you could say. Manny, obviously, before he got injured, where you say, they're doing really well and they've been good signings. So this season's really important, but we've got to be looking at building now something for next season, the season after. We've never had a foundation to build on in the last God knows how many seasons. So that's why I think, there's obviously a lot of talk with me and Andy on the podcast about, being calm about it seems like now the building blocks are starting to be put in place. There are good players coming in. If we can keep some of these signings that we've brought in next season, because these guys love being at the club. Obviously, a promotion would help massively to keep lights of Rossiter, possibly Pet. Some of these players keep that settled midfield. This is just things that you want. There's absolutely no guarantee any of it's going to happen, but that would be so nice, wouldn't it? Keep Lundstrom and have that. I mean, if we could go into next season with fully fit Pet, Rossiter, and Lundstrom, having played together this season, raring to go next season, whichever division we're in, I'd be happy.
Yeah, but you look at, I mean, Stockport, they kept the nucleus of their team when they went up, and they've had 2 promotions. So if it works and you get it right, you'll continue to go upwards because it works as a team. And I think I can't remember who it was now, but there was we took perfect example, Willoughby. We took Willoughby from Chester, who was doing fantastic. Came into our team, didn't do too well, but at Chester he was fantastic. I don't know what he's doing now because I've not been checking up, but you'd think he's coming, scoring so many goals, he'll come into us, do the same, and it'll be a great start. It'll be a good part of the team moving forward. And he's never been able to because he just can't hit that levels he was at Chester. So getting the right players in, like you said, it's important. The loan players, whilst, yes, they're good in the short term, we need that actual spine of a team, from Hudson, Raglan, whoever's in midfield to whoever's up front. Because obviously things are going to change because players are going to go, right, I've had enough now, I want to leave. So let's just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Keep hold of it.
I mean, we've got Tom Conlon as well, who's injured and he's played really well, this season. So, yeah, look, I mean, we'll see this season. An exciting playoff campaign would be great. I'd really enjoy it, but I mean, it'd be horrible as well because it's nerve-wracking. But until we're out of the title race, we'll hope for that instead. But what do you reckon? What do you reckon? What's your prediction for where we're going to finish and how we're going to get on, John?
Well, I can't see past the top 3 at the moment because they just look head and shoulders. There's not many issues. I mean, you look at how York played against us, but then you watch them the week later and they lose. And I think they're up for the big games and they're doing really well. I think York may just drop a little bit. I think you can't look past Barnet. Barnet just looked the better. I mean, even with Shelton in the team, he's smashing it down there. And it just shows, in our team, he didn't do well. He goes over there and he's fantastic.
I mean, I'm just looking at it now, John. Like, Latics, York, and Barnet have all lost 5 games.
Yeah.
So, and Forest Green have lost 2.
Mm-hmm.
But Forest Green have drawn 11.
Yeah.
So there's really not very much in it at all. I mean, we look at the likes of Barnet and Forest Green and think that they're the most consistent sides. We've won 15, York have won 18, Forest Green 17, Barnet 19. There's not a lot in it. There really isn't a lot in it. And you look at them, we think that they're the favourites. And I've said it myself. I think, maybe they are, but there's not much in it at all between the top 4 sides. And we've all got to we've got to play all 3 of them. So if in those games, like we can. It's dropping stupid points that's been annoying me, like the game against Aldershot and Solihull at home, and just some of those. But then York have done it, haven't they? York got beat by Boston, and everybody does it. But we are obviously obsessed with Latics, so it's those
more
results
apparent.
stand out more for us, don't they?
Yeah.
But so I think it really still could go down to the wire if we beat those 3, and we don't drop any more stupid points.
Well, it's Latics, isn't it? So it's going to.
We're bound to, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think if we finish 2nd or 3rd, I'll be happy with that because then at least we don't have to do the first round of the playoffs. We missed that a little bit out, even though it's, if we finish 4th and 5th or whatever, we still got to get involved in that. But I'd rather not have that first game. At least we can see what we've got. If we finish 4th, we finish 4th. Let's see what happens. Anything's better than last season. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, it's already way better than last season, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's progress. It's progress.
Definitely.
It'll all come out in the wash, won't it?
It will. It will. Anyway, listen, it's good to see you, mate.
You too.
Nice to hear from you. Stay in touch.
Whereabouts in Oz are you, mate?
South Australia. We're in a little town about 4 hours out of Adelaide.
Right.
So, right on the coastline.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Just mind out with them. Watch for them sharks, won't you?
Oh, don't bother us. The thing around here is redback spiders, brown snakes. So,
right.
And seen a couple of them.
No saltwater crocodiles.
No, they're up north. They're in Darwin.
Oh yeah, that'll be a tropical sort of side of things. Yeah. Right. Well, you stay away from those spiders and snakes then. And,
can I just say one last thing?
Yeah.
Because obviously today is the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to the Y, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone back home.
Oh, much love, John. Much love.
Much love.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Oh.
Dave.
Well done, Dave. Yeah, there you
go. There we go. Love it. Look at that. Look what a bit of sunshine does for you. A bit of sunshine, and straight away you're spreading the love. Do you know what I mean? It's just
got you, haven't you? Got you. An old man now.
Nice one, mate.
See you later.
Cheers, pal. Take care.
See you later. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. See you later.
Right, so we've got Ibby, the final countdown. We've got Ibby, the last call, but there's some new merch, Dave. You're not you don't know anyone who's expecting a baby, do you?
Not that I know of.
There's G9 baby merch.
God's number 9 scores all the time. He is divine.
He's God's number 9. Dave, do you fancy some GN9 merch?
Yes, please.
Go to the shop on our website, weareoldham.co.uk.
God's number 9 scores all the time. He is divine.
He's God's number 9. We've got t-shirts. We've got mugs. He's God's number 9. God's number 9. So yeah, I mean, imagine, Dave, you could be a dad in your G9 t-shirt with your baby with his G9 baby grower while you're drinking a cup of tea out your G9 mug.
Or a cold milk. You don't want hot tea near a baby.
Oh, health and safety advice there from Quantity Surveyor, Sexy Dave Bradley. Right, Ibby, are you ready? Hello.
Evening, Matt. Sexy Dave, you okay?
Yeah,
hey,
good.
You're all right, mate.
We've got a question for you, Ibby. Straight away, please ask Ibby which striker is coming in. Have you got any strikers coming in? Have you got any news?
No news at the moment. I don't know what the club is doing, so I'll leave it to them. And even if I did know Matt, I wouldn't name it because it's not right. Because I might say his name and another club might be listening.
Well, I'm sure all the other clubs are watching this for our valuable football insights. I don't think. Do you think we need someone in just to give Fond up a bit of a break?
I think we do, guys, because it's not fair on him. He needs a bit of a break because players need breaks at times.
I think the thing is he's going to keep giving 120% every game. It's not going to affect him, but you've also got to account for suspensions, picking up knocks and injuries and things like that. That does concern me a little bit that there isn't that cover there. But other than that, though, how have you been feeling over the 5 games unbeaten now? Have you settled down a bit after January?
I think we have, Matt. But the main thing is Tuesday night. I thought here we go again when we went 2-0 down. But fair dues, the players bounced back, and I thought Tom changed the game when he came on. So things are looking back in favour, and the top 2 are still up for grabs, and we need to win our 2 remaining games and see what happens. But we do need a striker coming in for definitely.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think it's only going to be a matter of time before Fondup gets too tired and he might pull something or strain. It's a risky tactic not to bring someone in. You want to try and be on the front foot, getting them in now. Get them settled into the squad. Just give Fondup that little bit of rest. Not that he should be dropped or anything like that, but play 60 minutes, bring someone else on when we're coasting. But Waters is, we just need that different dynamic up front. But I don't know how far off Joe Garner is from coming back either. So that's still.
I mean, it'd be interesting, Dave, if we are put in a position where he has to play Waters and Norwood up front, won't it? Just and how we cope and what type of football we play. Because I think the thing is with the Fondop is, obviously we do hit the ball longer to him. We hit the ball to Kitchen, who aims for Fondop. That won't be an option, so we'll have to play differently. But if even if that does happen, we're still then down to bare bones, aren't we? We don't have anybody else to bring in, so that is a little bit of a worry. But look, I mean, we were talking before a little bit when Ian was on about some of the older players, the older squads. I mean, like that, the classic 89, 90 team that did all those cup runs and all that. I mean, most of those players played every game, played 60-odd games that season. You only had 2 subs. It was, and they weren't as fit as the lads are now. So,
and they played on that AstroTurf as well.
And on that AstroTurf, so they can do it. It's just it is hard work. So I'm not saying that Fondop can't do it for the rest of the season. I just think that in terms of contingency, I think we'd all feel a bit more comfortable if there was somebody in there, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, man, I hope the goalkeeper's not out for long because apparently he's got an injury. I'm not very confident with that young kid in net, so I think we would need an experienced goalkeeper, somebody like a free agent.
Yeah, he's broke his finger, hasn't he, Hudson, in a training incident.
Or a finger injury. I don't think he said he broke it.
Yeah. He wasn't in training today because he wasn't down there today, so I think he is absolutely out for Saturday.
Yeah, no. Look, I mean, it's Fondop. Hudson has his critics. I think he's been pretty reliable for us over this season, and I think when sometimes you don't know what you've got till it's gone, and I think we miss him. I think we need him back definitely. There doesn't seem to be much faith in Maloney, who's the second choice keeper now. Obviously, Magnus Norman went to Dorking, so I don't know, Dave. What do you think? Do you think we'll be looking to bring another keeper in, or
no? I think they'll stick with him. It was his first game. It was that local derby. Hopefully, he'll have a good game against Sutton, and that's all it needs, isn't it? And get through Maidenhead. But if he has 2 shockers, then there's only one thing that's going to happen, isn't it? You're going to have to recall or bring someone. Well, can't recall because Norman's gone on permanent now, hasn't he? But we don't know how long Hudson's out for. It could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks. So I think they'll have to learn his lesson. It's always a tough game, is it, in a local derby against Regan Linney, who's a good striker, and a mistake's a mistake, and they learn from it. He's a professional footballer at the end of the day, but we'll have to see what happens, won't we?
I think as well, like, we've said it before, when Hudson was getting a bit of stick, we've got to stop conceding sloppy chances and giving people chances to shoot when we shouldn't do. It's a team game. So, you've got to try and protect your goalkeeper as much as possible. I don't know. I hopefully Hudson will be back relatively soon. That's the main hope.
As long as we don't sign Alan Blaney, I'm happy.
Are you going on Saturday, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
What's your prediction, Ibs? What's your prediction?
I think we're going to put 4 goals past them.
Really?
Yeah, I think we're going to be up for it this time because Tuesday night was slightly disappointed, but the main thing is we didn't lose that. It was a good comeback, and we just need to carry on winning games, try our utmost best. But remember, the top 2 are not over yet because it's a funny league. We just need to concentrate on our own games, and we just need the fans to support the club, that's all.
Our form is the same as Forest Green's in the last 5 games. 3 wins, 2 draws. It's better than York's. York have obviously they beat us, which is a bit of a bummer, but they've won 3 and drawn 2. Won 3 and lost 2. And Barnet in the last 5 have won 4 and drawn 1. So the teams at the top now are pretty consistent compared to the rest of them. Sutton, I mean, where are they? They're not even on the first page. They're right down in 12th. 2 draws, 2 wins, and a defeat in the last 5. So pretty inconsistent. So I think the thing, like I said before, over the season now, the top 4 teams are way more consistent than everybody else. So I'm reckoning that we're going to be churning out more wins than defeats and draws over the last 16 games.
Sutton beat York away, and they got a 3-3 draw away at Barnet. I think they drew against They got beat off. They got beat off Rochdale, but Rochdale are rubbish, so I'm not too worried about that. They have got a decent away record, so they're no mugs, Sutton, but that's over a season. But as you say, Matt, the form of late it's not been great. But neither was Aldershot's. And
exactly. It's so hard to predict, isn't it? Like that's the thing. You look at the clubs and you look at how they're getting on the form table and all that, and then you just get a freak result that you didn't see coming. So I think based on the fact that James Norwood's back in the squad, hopefully Pet's going to be fit and roster and that. I think we've got to be fired up to go out there and get into them from the start and But the thing is, look, we might concede a sloppy goal, but if we do, we've just got to get on with it, haven't we? I think what I was thinking about when we went 2-0 down against Altrincham, we went 2-0 down against Wealdstone as well, came back, won the game. Obviously didn't win the game on Tuesday night, but the character is there, so there's no reason for the fans to lose heart if we do go behind. Obviously, we didn't manage it against York, but we can't afford to keep going behind, and we are going behind at home, aren't we? It seems quite a bit. So, need to knock that on the head, really. Starting on Saturday.
What do you make about Durkin doing very well?
It's so tight, isn't it, in the National League South, Ibby? But Dorking seem to have turned it around. They've really picked up. They didn't have a brilliant start to the season, but
he's got that Reece Murphy playing in for them. Ex-Oldham.
I noticed that. Yeah.
I really hope they come up and we go up this season. It would be nice.
Yeah. Well, it would be nice to, as much as I've got a lot of time for Dorking. I don't really want to have to play them again unless they're in the Football League. I don't want to be going. I don't want to go down to. I don't want to be playing Dorking away in the National League. It's a sign that we've not got promoted. I hope they come up, and good luck to them, of course. But I don't want to go there again next season. I want us to be going to all the League 2 clubs instead.
Look after yourself, guys. There's nothing more for me to say. I'm going to wrap it up now.
All right, mate.
Cheers.
Take care of it.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Mate. See ya.
Care, mate.
Chris thinks that we're going to get 84 points, which will comfortably see us in the top 3.
Well, he is a genius. He is the modern day Oldham genius, Chris Stringer, isn't he, to be fair? Depends which
Chris Stringer you're talking about, doesn't it?
Well,
There's two. One's a genius and one lives in France. No offense. I don't know. I think it's usually the French one, isn't it?
Potentially.
Is it you? Is it Stringer? Chris Stringer and Chris Stringer.
Christophe.
One lives in Leeds, one lives in France. Yeah, Christophe Stringer. Well, look, it's all good, isn't it? We didn't get to hear from Crestfall and Dean, unfortunately, this time, but never mind. You've been quite positive tonight, Dave, which has been nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It makes a change.
Yeah. I've got nothing else to say, Dave. Have you?
No, just roll on Saturday and let's get the win.
Yeah, right. I'll see you on Saturday, Dave.
See you later, mate. Take care.
Au revoir.
Hey Dave, did you know that listeners can now buy us a coffee or any other kind of hot beverage?
Ooh.
What's your favourite hot beverage, Dave?
A macchiato.
And how do you like your macchiato?
Black with lots of milk. Oh.
No cream?
No.
Well, if you want to buy Dave a
macchiato,
then go to buymeacoffee.com/weareoldham. I'll just have a Nescafe.
Ooh. Thank you, listeners.